You are listening to the Love and Confidence Podcast, episode number 134. Welcome to the Love and Confidence Podcast. If you're a woman who wants to feel more irresistible, have more fun, and create deeper and more authentic connections, this podcast is for you. I am your host, certified life coach Lærke Nielsen, and I help you become the best and most confident version of yourself so you can attract the love life you desire. Let's get started. Hey friend, before we get started today, I want to share with you that I have created something that I think many of you would love to have, and it's free. And this is a tool for those of you who just feel fed up with the dating apps and you want to take a break from the apps or just not have to rely on them to get a date. But maybe at the same time, you're also not sure where to meet men because you don't want to go to a nightclub with much younger people. And you also no longer want to hang out at a bar late at night. So where do you go these days? And how do you go out in a clever way that will increase chances of meeting someone who could actually be a good match for you? I have created a free guide that's called How to Meet Men Outside the Dating Apps. And this is full of tips and inspiration, regardless of whether you live in a big or a small city and what your interests are. So everyone can find inspiration in this guide. So grab it on the link in the show notes or go to my website lærkenielsencoaching.com and look under freebies. And let yourself get inspired and get some ideas on where to go and how to meet men out there in the real life. Not because I necessarily advise you to drop the dating apps, but it's really good to have both. It's really good to meet people in real life as well. And in this guide, I've put an emphasis on actually advising you to choose activities and go places that also interest yourself. So you will have a great time while you do it, even if you don't meet someone. Honestly, I feel like doing all of these things myself now that I have put it into paper. And of course, I can do that no matter what. We can always go out and meet people. I think this is something that is always inspiring, even as an introvert. So go and get the freebie. I'm sure you will enjoy it and you will find some ideas and some inspiration on how to approach organic dating. Now, let's get back to the episode. In this world, there are two kinds of people. The ones who divide the world in two kinds of people and the ones who don't. Joke aside, in this episode, I'm actually going to divide people in two groups. And the first one is the one that we all belong to, unless or until we learn that we don't have to. We can jump to the second group if we want. And the second group is much more fun to be in. We have so much more choices. Everything is possible. You just have to decide what you want and then get to work. But in the first group, it's very difficult unless you are lucky. Life can be very hard and sad, and you just have to wait for your luck or hope that something will work out because it's basically out of your control. If you grow up in a family where love was scarce and you didn't get the validation and care that you needed, you might just have to feel shitty for the rest of your life. And the ones who grow up in happy families, they will always be confident and strong. They will have big smiles on their faces and they will go out in the world and create what they want because everyone loves their charm and happy charisma. But if you are a normal, ordinary person, you carry the wounds of some kind of emotional neglect and you will suffer from that for the rest of your life. And if that makes you feel sad, then there's nothing you can do about it because you are sad because of something that happened in the past and we can't change the past. And whatever feeling you have when you wake up in the morning, you are going to be stuck with that until someone outside yourself comes along and cheers you up. If you're lucky, that is. I'm of course exaggerating a little bit here, but what I want to say is that we are all born and most of us raised with the idea that our thoughts and feelings are just something that happens to us based on external circumstances. Someone says or does something, and that makes you feel a certain way, and there's nothing you can do about it. You were not validated as a child, and now you can't love yourself as an adult. You have negative thoughts about yourself, and that's just the way you are. It's not something anyone can change. This is how we believe human life is meant to be until we learn that it doesn't have to be this way. And some people, unfortunately, they never learn that. But it's never too late to learn. So if you haven't learned it yet, you are in the right place, because today I'm going to tell you why you have so much more control over your life and how you think and feel than what you might believe. This is all about being intentional with the thoughts that you choose to cultivate and the direction you want your life to take. It's making the decision to stop all the negative self-talk. Stop putting yourself down and telling yourself what is not possible for you. Stop repeating the narrative that you might have been conditioned with early on about how it's never good enough what you do, and everyone else is better than you, and you shouldn't have too many dreams about what you want in life, because if you don't succeed, it will be shameful. So it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you for having spent even many years thinking like this. It also doesn't mean you have to continue doing that or hate yourself for having done that. You can have compassion for yourself and decide that today, from now on, you draw a line in the sand and you choose a new way of thinking about you that you like, and you choose a new way of thinking about your life that feels empowering and full of possibilities. So take self-love, for instance. So many of us think that this is something you either have or you don't have it. And if you don't have it, well, there's not much you can do, except hope that you will, with time, start feeling more accepting towards yourself. Maybe when you have achieved certain things, or maybe when you have a partner that loves you and has loved you sufficiently long time for you to start believing that you might be a little bit lovable. Or maybe when something happens in your life, so all of a sudden you start seeing yourself in a new light. But often what happens, if we think that self-love, this is conditioned by having achieved something, is that once we have achieved that thing, we need to achieve something more in order to love ourselves. And then there's something more after that, and we never get to the end goal. Self-love is not something you all of a sudden wake up and feel one morning. No one is going to come and tell you that the verdict is ready, and after so and so many years, the judges have arrived to a conclusion. You are finally good enough. No one is going to save you from not feeling good enough. It is a conscious decision that you make. You decide to stop shit-talking yourself. You decide to stop the constant criticizing of yourself and only noticing what isn't good enough about you. You decide that enough is enough. Now you just had enough of all that negativity, and from now on we stop doing that. We speak kindly to ourselves. We treat ourselves as a human being with qualities and flaws, but a full human being who is trying her best and constantly learning and growing. And we choose to love that person because it's our person. It is the one job we have in life, is to take care of that person. So you notice every time your inner critic begins, and you gently but firmly stops that voice and directs it to more constructive and friendly thoughts. Maybe not loving yourself to begin with, but at least friendly, kind, and compassionate. Make peace with yourself. Make peace with the parts of you that are just human and imperfect. You might not have grown up with the most loving and validating caretakers, but you don't have to repeat their narrative the rest of your life. You don't have to be a victim in your adult life. You can decide that it's enough, and you can fire your inner critic, take over the job, hire an inner coach or a cheerleader instead. And it doesn't stop with how we think and feel about ourselves. It's also how you think about your life and your possibilities in life. What do you think that you are capable of? The truth is, this isn't even a question you are capable of answering, because you are capable of so much more than you think. And you can decide that you want to try. You want to try to achieve big goals. Try to make dreams reality. Even if you don't succeed, you will have learned a lot and you will grow from the journey. And maybe you will achieve 80% of the goal. And that might already be a lot more than what you would have achieved if you set your mind to a smaller goal or a small dream. If you stayed small and you achieved 100% of the small goal, you might be in a much better place with 80% of a big goal. You get to decide what you want to believe about yourself and what you're capable of. And like with self-love, you don't have to have a long track record in your life of always achieving what you set your mind to and always having loved yourself. You can just decide that from now on, you are going to believe big things about yourself and what you can create in life. This is a life approach. Be intentional about what you want to create in life. Be the driver, not the passenger. Choose to dare to try big things. Choose to dare to believe in yourself. Even if you don't have any guarantees that you will succeed and get the goal, that's not so important. The important thing is that you tried. You were in the arena. You choose to be courageous and try it out, to fight for what you believe in, and claim that you are a woman with dreams and you're brave enough to go for that dream. Whether that is finding true, genuine, and long-lasting love, or whether it is to go travel the world or something completely different. Being intentional, choosing what you want to believe about yourself and your possibilities in life, that is the most empowering thing that you can do for yourself. So I invite you here to let go of the old narratives and choose new, exciting beliefs about yourself and your life. And with these words, I want to thank you for listening all the way to the end at this very short episode. I'll be back next time. Have a wonderful week. If you like what you're hearing on this podcast and you want to get support from a coach on your love journey, I invite you to book a free consult call with me. You will find the link in the show notes. And also, don't forget to subscribe, and I would love it if you would rate and review this podcast, and then you'll also help other women find it.